We are in Chatfield State Park. COTREX is in gray, overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles, and the particular trail that we are looking at, I'm going to highlight in red for you. This is the Chatfield Equestrian Trail, and the issue here is that the location where OpenStreetMap depicts this junction with the Wetlands Connector Trail and where COTREX depicts it is quite different. And that distance, in fact, is about 760 feet. So not inconsequential. If I turn on the Strava heat map, you can see that all the Strava users, at least over the last 2 years, are traveling on the trail as depicted by OpenStreetMap, and we don't have anyone traveling on the trail as depicted by COTREX. Further evidence is found by turning on the Bing Aerial Imagery. We can clearly see that there is some sort of trail through here where OSM depicts it, and there isn't any such indication over here by where COTREX depicts it. And that imagery was captured July 1st and 2nd, 2020, so fairly recent. However, if we look at the Esri World Imagery Clarity Beta, there is something in this imagery near where the COTREX depiction is. So unfortunately, the Esri World Imagery Clarity Beta does not provide us with a capture date. I think we can presume that it's older than July of 2020 when the Bing Aerial Imagery was captured, simply because it's probably indicative that this trail was here at one time where COTREX depicts it and is no longer there. We are again in Chatfield State Park, and this is another section of the Chatfield Equestrian Trail. Again, COTREX is in gray, overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles. I'm going to highlight the two sections of trail in question so people know what we're talking about. And you can see there's a discrepancy here between OpenStreetMap and COTREX. And that distance is about 105 feet. If I turn on the Strava heat map, you can see that the Strava users over the last 2 years, which the Strava heat map covers, are traveling on the location depicted by OpenStreetMap, and you really don't have anyone traveling on this part of the trail depicted by COTREX. If we turn on the Bing imagery, we get further confirmation of this. It's pretty apparent that there's a trail here and not so much up over here. We are still in Chatfield State Park, and this time we're taking a look at the Cigar Pond Trail. COTREX is in gray, overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles, and that in red is the specific trail we're talking about. As you can see, there's a discrepancy between OpenStreetMap and COTREX, and that difference is about 120 feet. If I turn on the Strava heat map, you can see that indeed Strava users over the last 2 years, which the Strava heat map covers, is traveling on the location depicted by OpenStreetMap, and not so much on this part of the COTREX trail. The aerial imagery isn't a huge help here, but you can kind of see on this north end where the trail does kind of turn south and go through this canopy here. So that's some additional evidence that the COTREX may not be as accurate as we would like it to be. This is our last issue in Chatfield State Park, and it concerns the Platte River Trail. As usual, COTREX is in gray. I'm going to highlight that since we have several things going on in this view, and it's overlaid on OpenStreetMap. Now you can see there's a discrepancy here, and it's going to be about 105 feet. If I turn on the Strava heat map, you can see that at least over the last 2 years, the Strava users are traveling on the trail depicted by OpenStreetMap and not on this little section here depicted by COTREX. If I turn on the Bing Aerial Imagery, we have further evidence that the OpenStreetMap depiction is closer to the true location. This is quite obvious. There's a rather wide trail here. And this imagery was captured July 1st and 2nd of 2020. So we also have another discrepancy further south here, and that's going to be about 105 feet as well, and a few more minor discrepancies as we work our way south. This is going to be about 72 feet or so